Hey, Big B here, it's Coach Verl, and I'm here to answer the question most of you are watching these videos to find out. Are you ready? Here's the question. Who is the greatest real estate coach? You know what you think? I think you know what I'm going to say, right? It's me. But that's not true. As a matter of fact, I found that many of my coaches are way better than I am. Finding the right coach is not as easy as you think. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a few things that you can do to help identify who's the right coach for you. Would that be okay? First of all, you have to understand that there's a big difference between training, mentoring, and coaching. Let me see if I can describe those to you. The first one is a mentor. Many of us have mentors, people that we look up to, respect, and love in our business. Oftentimes our brokers are great mentors. We go to our broker owners and we watch the way they handle themselves, the way they conduct their business, the integrity, and the way they keep their promises, not only to their clients, but to their agents. Having a great mentor that models leadership, to me, I believe is just critical. A mentor is very different than a coach. So before I go into coaching, I want to talk about training. Training is where you learn something new. It's where you have a topic or a theme. You're trying to become better at doing that certain thing. It might be training on listings or training on buyers or training on for sale by owners or expired listings. There's so many great training programs out there for specialization in every area of real estate. Training is where you learn something new. Now let's talk about what coaching is. Coaching is where you engage someone, you pay for their advice, and they actually ask you if you kept the commitments that you made. Coaching is where you not just learn something new, but you actually do something new. It's the action items. Coaching, the difference between training and coaching is like asking Siri, where could I go? Versus take me to this specific restaurant on this specific street. And then it gives you the turns right and left and everything you need to do. And when you're out of sync, it has you make a U-turn, it makes a course correction. Having a good coach is someone who can look at your business, look at your production, look at your interaction from a different perspective and know if you're on course or off course and help you make those course corrections. When I think about all of the highest performers, whether it's in sports or in business or in life, almost all of them will tell you stories about coaches that have impacted their lives. Coaching matters, and successful people have coaches. So let's talk about how to identify what makes a great coach. First, I'm going to tell you that people that did real estate back in the day don't always make great coaches for today. I'm a great example of that. 20 years ago, I sold a lot of houses, but what's going on today is very different than what went on 20 years ago. I may not be the best coach, and I'm willing to admit that. So what we do at Workman Success is we coach our coaches first. They have to be in production and doing real estate, and for the most part, they're either performing or coaching people at a higher level than you are than when you get engaged. And so one great question to ask is, are they still in production? Another great question is, are they performing or coaching people at a level above where you want to go? So if you're here and you want to go here, is your coach already working with people at that level that can shorten the process for you? The next is, are they following a proven methodology or a system? We call it the Workman way. The Workman way is the wisdom of our crowd, where we use collaboration from our brilliant coaches, most of which are in high producing teams, and they share best practices of what's working in the market today. When we bring those in and we customize and workmanize the wisdom of our crowd, it creates a system or a recipe that's proven for success. Another great question is, do they have access to people and resources in their organization when something's out of their expertise? A great coach doesn't think they know all the answers. A great coach knows how to find all the answers. By incorporating artificial intelligence into all of our coaching materials, our coaches have access to an unbelievable database of knowledge that comes from our coaches and from years of coaching and dealing with problems in an AI environment. So when you have a problem, it gives you up to date, up to the minute how Workman coaches solve that problem. The reason our coaches are so successful and our clients have predictable results is because of access to other coaches and information that nobody else in the world has. Another great question is, do they have a guarantee? Do they stand behind their coaching? I'll tell you right now that if they don't have a guarantee, you may want to double check. You may want to think about somebody else. Here's what I know. I know that greatness is predictable. I know that if you follow the right activities and you execute the activities, you'll get a result that'll come out at a big multiple of whatever it costs you to be in coaching. Coaching should not be an expense in your business. It should be a clear profit center, and there should be a written guarantee that stands behind it. The next one is don't take their word for it. Everybody tells you they're great, even me, but don't take my word for it. Go to Google, look at the Google reviews. How many people have written reviews, and what do they say about that coach? If you can't find good reviews, probably not asking the right question, or maybe the coach has buried them. We don't bury reviews, and we encourage people to leave good or bad reviews, whatever their experience is. So Google it and find out what kind of reviews does that coaching company and those coaches have. Another great question that I love to ask is, who do you know that you trust and respect that's being coached by that company? Are there people in your market or outside your market, in your brand, that have chosen to work with that company? And are they telling their stories? Can you look at a map, a transparency that shows where all of the clients are anywhere in the United States or Canada, and choose someone to call at random to say, what's your experience like? Make sure that you have people or peers that you trust and respect that are having a good experience that you can call to find out what you need to know before you engage in coaching, and just make those phone calls. Do your due diligence, and you'll find there's a lot of great people out there that'll take the time to really help you. The next one is this. Do they take the time during the sales process to really understand your business before they start giving you advice? What an interesting concept. It'd be like walking into a doctor's office and saying, hey doctor, and the doctor says, don't talk. You need an appendectomy and I'm gonna take out your colon. And you say, well, no, actually I have a runny nose. Like, not taking the time to ask what the symptoms are or what kind of problems you're having is like making a prescription in a doctor's office without doing a diagnosis. In your sales process, where does the person or the business consultant ask you questions to really understand where you are and help you clearly identify gaps, so that when you're assigned a coach, they give you a coach that specializes in helping you where there's gaps. Prescribing the right coach for the right situation for the right individual. If you don't go through the triage, you don't go through the needs analysis, then how do you know you're going to get the right experience when it comes time to making a decision on coach and whether or not you follow their advice? Last but not least, if you're watching these videos, you probably have some level of interest in running a successful team. People struggle with teams and they hire coaches that also do teams. Does your coaching company specialize and focus on developing not just team leaders, but also team members? If it's an afterthought or we also do teams, there's a possibility they may not have the depth that's necessary to help you as your team grows. People ask all the time what makes us different. The difference is that we coach the entirety of the team leader and the team members, but more importantly, that we have levels based on your level of production and your level of need. I'll give you an example. If you wanted to know how much coaching costs, coaching usually has a setup fee associated with it and costs anywhere from $10.50 a month to $2,500 or $3,500 a month. Each level of coaching is based on your level of production and the complexity of your business. A broker owner who's also running a team, who also has a property management company, is much more complex than a new agent who just barely made $100,000. And so we give you a coach that's performing and coaching people above the level you want to go. So the more sophisticated your business, the more sophisticated your coach. It seems like a simple concept, but it's taken many, many years to develop the systems and processes to identify and put the right coach with the right person in the right circumstance and environment. For the most part, you'll find that a great coach was first a great client, and that they implemented the systems and the processes, they had proven success, and they are raving fans because they internalize, they know that it works. As you go through your journey in identifying what makes a great coach and how to select the right coach, whether you use Workman or not, it's okay with me, but go through the criteria, ask the questions, and find the best company and the best person that you believe will help you achieve your next level of real estate success. If you just want to know whether or not having a Workman coach is a right fit for you, or you'd like to go through a coaching consultation where we can help you establish the gaps, just click on the link below. It'll sign you up for a free coaching consultation where we'll do an analysis of your business and we'll figure out where the gaps are, and we'll give you a clear roadmap of how to solve those problems. We look forward to working with you, and we wish you the best in your coaching journey.